Hi, I'm Stacy Beck, and I'd like to welcome you to this special Fiesta Days program. Spanish Fork has a wonderful history that points back to pioneer settlers. They moved into a beautiful but untamed area. They worked hard to create something more for themselves, but also for each other. This dedication and sacrifice makes Spanish Fork what it is. Principles of hard work, volunteerism, and family still drive our residents. It's these values that embody our Pioneer Spirit Award recipient. We are happy to honor such a person today. Our 2025 Pioneer Spirit Award recipient is Tom Hodson. Hi, Tom.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. So let's get to know you a little bit. Tell me where you grew up, who you are, who your family is.
Spanish Fork,
Okay.
raised. I was born in Payson, but I've lived in Spanish Fork all of my life. My parents were Ray and Beulah Hodson. I had got 3 sisters, 1 brother. One of my sisters has passed away, so there's 4 of us left, but I've lived here all of my life.
Okay. Graduated at Spanish Fork Dawn?
Graduated at Spanish Fork Dawn.
Okay. And I'm going to ask this, which normally I don't do, because you just barely told me before we aired that your class reunion is this year.
Number 50.
Is it really? That's so cool.
Number 50.
That's fun. So you're going to be in the parade with your class and
Yes.
and for this award.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So how many kids do you have, and who is your wife, and where do you live?
My wife is Suzette Hodson. We have 5 children. We have 4 daughters and 1 son.
Okay.
My son was the easiest to raise.
Of course, of course.
But we have beautiful kids. They all live locally here in the county, and we have 9 grandchildren.
Nice. Is that the best part?
That's the best part.
We have 7, and I agree. It's awesome.
It's the best part.
Okay, and how did you start your career? What made you choose what you went into?
Well, interestingly enough, I was a journeyman Boilermaker for the first part of my career, but I always had an interest in law enforcement.
Okay.
And so when we finished up the Intermountain Power Project in Delta, I was actually a reserve officer for Mapleton City.
Oh.
And when we finished up the power plant in Delta, work was hard to find for Boilermakers. And so having always had an interest in law enforcement and having known some of the fantastic Spanish Fork police officers that were there when I was going through my teenage years, I wanted to be involved in that. And so signed on with the Utah County Sheriff's Office and had a great career there.
How many years, Tom?
I was there for 36 years. I'm back working part-time for them now, but it's just, it's such a rewarding, fulfilling career, and I've truly enjoyed working there.
See, and I listened to you say that it's so rewarding, and I'm sure it is, but it sounds like one of the most challenging careers. You see a lot of hard things.
It's incredibly challenging, and you have to be prepared for some of the things that you see and do. But when you have a great support system like I've always had throughout my career, friends and family and loved ones, it makes it a lot nicer.
Okay, okay. So 36 years?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know I want to give a public shout out because when my youngest brother was 17, he was accidentally shot, and you were there and you saved his life. And I believe you won an award for that.
I did.
This was back in the 90s.
I remember it well.
Yeah, I do too. I remember that day.
Yes.
And so when your name was brought up to our Fiesta Days committee of who should be one of the recipients, everybody knew your name, and then of course you had a special impact on me personally. So
well,
thank you. So let's talk a little bit about how did Shop with the Cops start? Like, this is your brainchild, correct?
It is, yes. Okay. Along with Blair Kirby. So I was, as I mentioned, I got into law enforcement. So when I came into law enforcement from construction, I took a huge cut in pay.
Oh.
And I knew that going in, that was going to happen.
Okay.
And so, like many young officers just starting their careers, I had a part-time job, and I was doing security out to Kmart part-time.
You know, I worked at Kmart.
I remember that.
I think we've talked about this.
Yep.
It's just bringing back some memories.
Yep.
Okay.
But nonetheless, I was working at Kmart, and Blair Kirby, who was a retired Salem officer,
Okay.
he and I were in the break room. He was my supervisor over loss prevention at Kmart. And we were in there one time, and we noticed a program somewhere back east, and I want to say Ohio, but I'm not certain anymore. But they were doing a little local program at Christmas time to help children.
Okay, just on the TV. You were just watching TV?
Yeah, we're watching something on
in the Kmart break room?
In the Kmart break room.
Okay, I can envision all of this right now.
You know how the break room was there?
I totally remember it. Microwaves, old chairs and tables.
Right.
Yep, checking in and out on your time card.
Yes, and so we're back there, Blair and I sitting, and I says, when we saw that, it impacted me.
Okay.
I thought that is such a cool thing to do. And as a police officer, that public outreach and what he's doing for the children, the children on the television screen were just beaming. They were just so happy to be there and part of something special. And I said to Blair, I says, why can't we do that here?
Really?
And that's kind of how the idea was born. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was 1990.
Okay.
And so in 1991, we actually put on our first Shop with a Cop in Utah County.
Okay, now that just makes it sound easy. We just put it on. I can't fathom the amount of details and organization and many people in your back pocket that helped you do this.
Oh, yeah, it's certainly not a one-man show.
Wow.
Today, where it stands today, there's literally an army of people to help us do this program. And the people from this community and throughout Utah County that donate to make it happen, you know, our business people and even private individuals that donate cash and funds to make this happen is incredible.
Was it difficult to get people to buy into it, or was that part the easiest part?
It was difficult because it was just a fledgling program. We didn't know what was going to happen with it. And so I shouldn't say it was difficult. People wanted to see the finished product a lot of times before they wanted to put their money into it. And so for the first year, at that time there were probably 5 or 6 Kmarts in Utah County. We actually held our first one in American Fork. Oh. And I believe we had 40 children, and I think they've got $75 a piece. 40
children, their first go-around's pretty good.
Right, we pulled it off. we did pull it off, and so we learned a lot of lessons that first year. It was a difficult thing to do because we wanted to provide, like we do today, we wanted to provide a really nice breakfast for the kids, give them something nutritious that maybe some of them didn't have the opportunity to have breakfast, and we wanted them to have a really good experience shopping with an officer. And so, you know, we tried to think of everything that would make the program succeed and implement those things. And some worked and some didn't.
Trial and error for the
trial and error.
Bit. So when did you move from American Fork to Spanish Fork? The very next year, or did it?
So we rotated through. I recall doing it at Orem, and we did it at Provo one year, and then we came back to Spanish Fork. And basically it's been in Spanish Fork since then. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I can get into those if you'd like.
Throw us out a couple reasons. I want to know more why Spanish Fork rocks.
So because this community here embraced us so much with Shop with a Cop. They just bought into it.
They stepped up.
They did step up, like this community always has. They stepped up. And you know, we had Kmart willing to put the program on out here, and we had Spanish Fork City with the festival lights. They were willing to let us go through the festival lights, which is incredible. And all the children just beam when they go through there, to seeing all the sparkly lights, and they're riding in a police car.
Yeah.
Nebo School District supports us as well. You know, they let us use the Diamond Fork Junior High. They make that available to us. They provide a staff for us there. So we have great facilities. They let us cook there. And I'll give a shout out to Chad and Andy Gardner and the Evans family, all the Evans family. It's extended now, and you've been there, Stacy. You see what happens at the breakfast. There are probably 60 to 70 people at that breakfast serving the officers and children.
Right.
And we used to do that ourselves.
Oh, really?
And so
And this family stepped up and decided to help.
I got a call from Andy Gardner, and it was probably, geez, it was probably 20 or 21 years ago.
Okay.
And their son Gavin was 18 then. He wanted an Eagle Scout project, and so they wanted to do the breakfast. And they've done it since.
Oh my gosh. But I know they love it. I've talked to several family members, and
Right.
it's their favorite thing to do.
They do love it, and it's you can see how it's expanded, because initially I think they probably had 10 or 12 people there, and now as you've gone
Right,
up, you can
right.
attest there's probably 60 to 70, perhaps more.
Yeah.
But and when we pull in there with the kids in the morning, they're all lined up outside applauding, and there's some tears being shed, because it's kind of emotional to see.
Right, right. Well, and we know Kmart's closed. Now Target is in the old Kmart building.
Right.
So tell us, where do you hold it now?
We
And
hold
is
it-
it just Utah County, or is it statewide?
It's Utah County. We do occasionally get some people from Juab County that comes to our program. They've actually started their own now.
Oh, cool.
And so basically we get Utah County, and last year we had every jurisdiction in Utah County represented, to include BYU, to include the Park Service, Division of Wildlife Resources, all of those
Okay.
people. And we hold it at Walmart in Spanish Fork now. And the staff and management at Walmart has been nothing but welcome for us. They've just welcomed us with open arms. They help contribute to the program. They have people come in and run the registers for them that volunteer to do it.
Oh,
You've seen the gift wrapping we do in the back.
I've done that a couple of
You've
years.
done
And
that.
that is,
My wife always supports us in that, and
that is a fun,
and my family, and it's just
Yeah.
it's just a worthwhile environment that makes a special day for the kids. But I certainly don't do it myself.
yeah, but you were the brainchild behind it, which is really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's.
And how have you seen the kids or families impacted?
I've got a lot of stories in that regard. We don't have enough time today, but
Pick one, one that stands out.
I'll give you an example of one, and this might put my wife on the spot. I'm not
Okay.
trying to do that, but we had a little girl. I'm not going to say her name. I still remember her name. A special little girl, and she was our Shop with a Cop kid, and what a treasure she was. Just a beautiful little young lady, and her family was in need, and we took this little lady, and we took her shopping, and we just had a magical day with her, just a fun day. And you know, something we don't really broadcast, but my family helps somebody every year at Christmas time. And so we knew she had siblings. This young girl had some siblings and some other extended family. And we had talked with the parents and understood their situation a little better.
Okay.
And so at the behest of my wife and my daughters, we kind of adopted that family that year. And we went over, and I was kind of ordered to drive. We drove to Provo and picked up this family.
Oh,
And it's just a touching story. We took them to the mall in Provo, and they got to go shopping.
oh my gosh.
And it was an incredible experience, and it was a heartwarming experience. But when we get back to the home, the mother and father had prepared a lunch for us to thank us.
Oh,
And it was the most amazing Mexican food I've ever eaten in my life.
oh, how special.
It was special.
And you were trying to give to them and help them, but it's a memory that I'm sure you and your family have treasured since that day.
They gave us the memory.
Oh, I love that.
So,
I love that.
and that was their way of giving back to us, and
Yeah.
it was unexpected, but it was appreciated.
Let's chat briefly about the officers that are involved. They're also from all over the county. It's not just Spanish Fork PD or the Sheriff's Department,
All over
right?
the county, all the jurisdictions
Okay.
show up, and we're thankful they do. I often worry about putting on Shop with a Cop and having 140 children and having 70 officers show up, but they just come through. It's a hard thing to get an accurate count on officers, because some of
gotcha.
them that commit to coming, maybe they make an arrest and then it ties them up in the office, or they've got a shift change or something like that. They work graveyard and they're planning on coming, but their graveyard was so horrible they can't make it out of bed. So there's a lot of things that go into that. So we don't always have an accurate count on officers, but kudos to the officers in the county. They always show up, and that's the thing I worry about the most.
Well, and I've heard rumors through the years that they have a budget for the child, but oftentimes the officers chip in a little bit of their own money.
It's correct, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Tom, we're just so grateful for you. Do you have anything before we wrap it up to leave with us? I'm sure you are very familiar with Fiesta Days, love Fiesta Days.
Love Fiesta Days.
What's your favorite thing to do?
Rodeo.
Okay, do you go one night or all nights?
We go 5 nights.
Do you have box seats? Or
we do have box seats.
Do you?
Yes.
So you got right in the beginning?
Right.
Lucky.
And if
Lucky,
I didn't have box seats, I'd be paying for it at home.
Well said, well said. Well, it's because of your personal commitment to our community and those in need, and that our Fiesta Days chose you. I'm so thankful for people like you that have this vision and insight to make our community better. And
well, thank you, Stacy.
We're happy to recognize you and wish you the best Fiesta Days yet.
I'm just going to leave it that I know a lot more people deserving this award than me.
But you deserve it this year, 2025. It's yours.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.